Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for coming to watch. So I've got you guys an update on this massive storm system that is now beginning to impact the eastern portion of our country here, and things have turned to the worst. We have had a terrible, catastrophic tornado outbreak in Tennessee. The models were underdoing this completely. Um, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a enhanced risk of severe weather for Tennessee, and we have already seen a few destructive tornadoes impact portions of the state. All right, one in which we think will most likely be at least, or will earn at least an EF3 rating on the EF scale. All right, so a very strong and potentially deadly tornado has went through Tennessee, and we see this tornado outbreak continue throughout tonight. As we can see, this line of storms really stretching all the way down here from the Houston area up towards the Ohio Valley is where we can see very strong to severe storms. But yeah, just a very, very terrible night here, and we're just going to see the storm continue to gain strength as the models were saying. I know I said earlier the models were underdoing that severe weather outbreak here. I actually myself was tricked by the models. I'm not saying that it was the models' fault. Obviously, it was definitely my fault. So I apologize to you guys a lot for not warning you guys enough. But I really, to be honest, did not see this coming. All right, but a big line of storms, which these storms are still 100% tornadic, stretching really throughout this region of the deep south. We'll zoom in to get some cities and names up here. All right, but at least two major tornadoes moved through Tennessee. All right, we can see this line of storms is about to go through Knoxville, Chattanooga. This has gone through Memphis, Tennessee already, but Central Tennessee right now is getting hit. This is going through Nashville area right now. Okay, but even some storms down here in Houston, Sugarland, inside of Houston, right there. There are some pretty strong storms. All right, Jackson, Mississippi. A few prefrontal storms are starting to gather. We're starting to see some pretty good rotation. I could actually start to see a very strong rotating storm. All right, this one looks like it's gonna go through the Jackson, Mississippi area, and this looks like around 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. tonight. Watch out. I think these storms will definitely pack a punch. Tornadoes and damaging winds possible with that. All right, but this is going to go through Cooville, Oak Ridge, Knoxville, Maryville, Chattanooga, Cleveland, Asheville, Johnson City, Boone, Hickory, and Gastonia, all in Tennessee. So, yeah, this is definitely going to be a very impactful storm system. We're probably, when the sun comes up, we're probably going to see more pictures and scenes like what we saw. Like what we saw in the pictures of the damage from the tornado. I mean, that was really incredible that we actually had that much damage. But I'm afraid that we're going to start to see more and more of those pictures come up. So be prepared. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Just make sure that you have have a plan and you know where to go in case you are under a tornado warning, because you definitely don't want to take any chances, because especially when you've already seen a tornado from one system that has, it's a damaging tornado. You definitely want to make sure that you are taking precautions just in case you find yourself in that situation. So we go over to our current alerts. All right, you can see we currently have a tornado watch. This was issued this afternoon here. This is going out for portions of all the way from southern Kentucky, where we have a few counties under a tornado warning, all the way down to the Mississippi and Louisiana border. No tornado watch for Texas. Okay, all right. But you can see that we have a lot of tornado warnings dotted around here. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, especially. Okay. It looks like there's a pretty tornadic supercell moving through Kentucky. All right. I guess that tornado warning might have just been lifted. All right, but yeah, definitely some spinning tornadic storms moving through this region. And then a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings. Like, wow, a lot of counties out here in northern Louisiana under severe thunderstorm warnings. Um, We've got a high wind advisory here for the Gulf Coast of Maine, that area. All right. In the Northeast, we have a flood watch going all the way up from really the northern portions of Maine, all the way down to Delmarva, where we have that flood watch. we're expecting anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain, maybe up to 5 inches are possible here. Winter storm watches going up for portions of upstate New York, and then really a lot of New Hampshire or Vermont is under a winter storm warning. Okay, and we do have some storm warnings that are going out for the coastal regions of the Northeast. All right, storm warnings are just issued uh, for um, for regions on the water. All right, so really on the coast, I should say. Okay, and that's why we don't see. That's why we don't really classify storm warnings, or we put them in the category for storms that move through land. All right. But yeah, a very impactful system is underway. And not to leave you guys out in the Northwest, some winter weather advisories and scattered winter storm warnings out here, because another round of your atmospheric river is coming into play as we get throughout this weekend. So, taking a look at our current SPC outlook. All right, we have an enhanced risk, which is level 3 out of 5. The Storm Prediction Center frantically issued this. I mean, I was at a Christmas party, so that's why I didn't do any emergency update. And I actually had no idea that this was going on, but I knew that we had the storms going on, but I didn't know that this going to be this bad. But this is right in that area that the those two big long track tornadoes went through. We have Nashville, Tennessee, just to the east of Memphis, Tennessee, where we have this orange area here, which is that enhanced risk. A lot of counties, though, highly populated area in here. This goes down into northern Mississippi and the extreme southern Kentucky is where we have that enhanced threat. Slight risk is for the entire area, really, that's going to get hit by those severe storms. All right, that's really going all the way up from central Kentucky down to central Louisiana. So like 100 miles to the northeast of Lake Charles. All right, just to the east of Shreveport. All right, but a very big area under this risk, and then outside of that, we have that 1 out of 5, that marginal risk for severe weather in that dark green. So going back here, we look at the tornado threat. All right, and at the same time, the SPC or Storm Prediction Center, they issued a 10 to 14% chance of tornadoes with a hatched risk, including this entire area, including Nashville, going up with that same enhanced risk area and down into the extreme northwest tip of Alabama and the northern Mississippi. Okay, all right, but other than Nashville, Tennessee, we don't really have some giant cities, but that is a big city out there with a 10% probability of a significant tornado, which is EF2 to EF5 strength, and we did see a significant tornado, which we're pretty sure this is going to be around an EF3 tornado. But we can see surrounding that 10% risk, we have a 5% risk for tornadoes, including Huntsville, Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, just north of Jackson, Mississippi. We have areas just to the west of Asheville and North Carolina and Knoxville, Tennessee. All right, so some pretty big names coming up here for our tornado risk. So it's looking like, because this is expanding, this tornado threat will continue late into tonight. So overnight tornadoes, it's never a good thing. And because the sun has gone down earlier, that means that it's just going to be more dangerous because you can't really see the tornado if it's at night. All right, but we could see a 15 to 29% risk of damaging winds for that slight risk and enhanced risk area, and then surrounding areas in that 5% risk. All right, and then finally, your severe hail outlook, a little bit of a different area. We have a 15 to 29% risk in this yellow shade, but this is going all the way from southern Kentucky all the way down to northeastern Louisiana here. Sorry about that. And we can see the surrounding areas in that 5 to 14% risk. All right, so that's going to be it for your severe weather outlook. We look at tomorrow's real quick. We have a level 1 out of 5 risk. I think that we could actually see some pretty relatively significant storm systems in the southeast and then eventually the mid-Atlantic, but it really depends on how suitable the atmosphere is and how disruptive it's going to be as these storms move through. So, taking a look here at the FV3 high resolution model. All right, this is the latest model run coming out. This was the picture that was at 8 a.m. today. Watch how explosive these storms get. Okay, it starts out as just a little bit of rainfall. All right, just some showers, and then boom, right here, some thunderstorms starting to pop up around 11 a.m. This is the last time I really checked the models, 11 a.m. Okay, that's when I left to go to the party. Okay, or I went to the store and then the party. So this was happening all when I was gone. Notice how we go from when I was gone here, 11 p.m. 11 a.m. Okay, and then boom, we get this big line of thunderstorms, and these were your rotating thunderstorms right into here. Okay, this entire line really going all the way up into maybe even as far north as Ohio, where we saw that tornado threat. All right, this is slowly dying down, but it's definitely not over. We get to where we are now. This is around 8 to 9 p.m. Still, these storms really, the characteristics, if you look at them closely, they look pretty much the same as what they did when they were back here in Tennessee, noting that that's where we had the EF3 tornado. But these continue all the way into early tomorrow morning. So this is December the 10th on Sunday tomorrow. Okay, we can see this line starting to break apart, but still some strong to severe storms rolling through. These could be rotating, some spin ups out here, maybe some water spouts down near Florida, some strong storms, potentially severe down here near Florida and Georgia. Okay, but definitely a severe potential there as the storm starts to change over to snow. Getting into the mountains here, we can start to see a lot of heavy snow building over Virginia into West Virginia and then North Carolina. All right, but yeah, definitely a big storm system in general. But then high pressure will be dancing around the area with dry, cold air, so you won't have to worry about any severe weather after that. All right, so moving over to your northeastern U.S. region here. All right, and so we're going to be taking a look at what the storm it has in stock for you guys. This is the final update I am doing on the system. I might do one just for the Northeast tomorrow morning. All right, if there's any slight change in the forecast. And let me tell you guys, the snow portion of the system has changed, and we went from really expecting, a snowstorm to, a few inches of snow for some, and now we're expecting actually a very big snowstorm. I know, we were as of last night, we knew that there was going to be a big snowstorm, but we didn't know exactly, just we didn't know exactly what the models are going to be saying the morning of today. And we woke up today, and the models have all been in good agreement on a lot of snow. All right, so we look at what the story is for the Northeast. These storms charge right through Ohio, and they get into the Northeast. Notice how this is all starting out as rain. Okay, I said this a lot yesterday. This area is loaded with moisture. The moisture in here, the moisture content is crazy. The atmosphere is loaded with moisture. That is why this storm is going to be unleashing its massive amounts of rainfall, because all this moisture is coming up like that from the Gulf storms, okay, and also from the Atlantic Ocean here. I don't know why my draw tool is not showing that, but that's also a reason why your southerly winds are going to be so strong here. All right, but we could actually be dealing with some thunderstorms, some maybe even some strong thunderstorms as we get into tonight, and then we're really the middle of the night tonight to tomorrow. Showery activity starting to build across the region, but some thunderstorms moving over the Great Lakes here, and then here comes your system. Comes in as some pockets of heavy rainfall, some thunderstorms. This is tomorrow morning, okay, and a few pockets of very heavy rainfall, which could actually prompt some flash flood warnings out here in southern New England. Looks like New York City could get a first very strong band of rain here. And then the big storm event comes in at Sunday tomorrow night. Okay. Notice how this cold front is catching up to the system very quickly, and the snow is changing, or the rain is changing to extremely heavy snow here in the mountains. Look at this pink here, that's signifying 10, potentially this band here could be dropping up to 10 inches of snow. All right, this is moving right through the mountains here, the Smoky Mountains, of Tennessee and North Carolina. But man, this storm is going to be unloading massive amounts of snow And this model, this is the NAM 3KR model. It's been probably the model with the, you know, been the model that's showing the most snow out of this, but it really wants that cold front to influence the change of precipitation here. And we can see, all the coastal regions here, areas hugging the coast, we stay as rain. We'll start up here in New York City. I want you guys to take a look at this band of rain. I mean, these are going to be thunderstorms, but oh my goodness, that is going to be, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be raining like crazy out there. I know, a few months ago, back in September, when we had that crazy flooding event out in Long Island and surrounding areas, it's going to feel like that for about an hour. I mean, I know it's not going to be as bad as it was back then, all right, because that was multiple hours of this rainfall, but this type of rainfall is going to pretty much match what we saw back then. So, very extremely heavy rainfall, downpours moving through. We get a second band um, that moves through, and you can see that snow is really coming up all the way from portions of New Hampshire and Vermont all the way down to North Carolina. Big band of very heavy rainfall looking likely with this system, because it's really, there's not enough time for this to change. So this is why we're certain that this will happen. All right, but a second to, I guess you could say, a main band of rainfall starts to move in, and this one could drop a few inches of rain. I'm thinking that your first thunderstorms out here into southern New England and the Mid Atlantic will drop around half an inch to an inch of rain alone. Okay, you'll see some lightning with that too, some rumbles of thunder. All right, here comes your rainfall and more thunderstorms. All right, there's another additional like inch or 2 inches. That's that big band of heavy rainfall. This is the middle of the night, Sunday into Monday. I'm telling you guys, it's there's going to be blizzard conditions or there's going to be tropical storm conditions. You're going to get either one, okay? Depending on where you are. If you're out here in the snowfall where you see this very heavy snow to the interior northeast and mid-Atlantic, right here if you're in the PA or if you're in the upper elevations of West Virginia, Virginia, you're going to see blizzard conditions. You're going to see multiple inches of snow and extremely strong winds gusting to 40 miles per hour, but just extremely heavy snow in general. If you're towards the coastline and you're inside that warm sector here, that's where we're going to see this stay as mostly a rain event, and we're going to see inches of rainfall with gusty winds. The closer you are to the coastline, the stronger the winds will be. If you are pretty much on the coast, if your town lies on the coastline, all right, you're probably going to be dealing with winds gusting past 40 miles per hour, which is certainly a tropical storm force, strong tropical storm. All right, but that snow continues to spread as this cold front moves through. Here comes the main event. This is 8 a.m. Monday morning, and guys, this is going to snarl travel. This is like the worst timing possible that this storm could come in Monday morning, guys. Uh, people are going to be out of power. So a lot of people are going to be out of power waking up Monday morning. But let alone that. Okay, people have to travel during this, and this is the main event. Your low is right here, and it's moving right up here. Okay, so areas up here into Boston and portions of southern New England are still yet to get hit. Okay, this is halfway over, and it's Monday morning. So a extremely intense system it's going to cause major problems. Some snow changing to ice here, as we see. Last night we compared the GFS and the Euro. The GFS, I believe, was showing a band of extremely heavy, wet snow moving through Vermont, New Hampshire, and we see the NAM 3KR model catching on that. So it looks like we will see that, but that extremely heavy snow spreads into as far south as New Jersey. Okay, so maybe even you know the Mid Atlantic could see some of this extremely heavy snow. All right, that rain is going to move through Boston, so the Boston area is going to get a lot of rainfall all the way up to Maine. Central Maine is where we can see maybe the heaviest rainfall here. So really, the entire eastern seaboard is just going to get slammed by this, and that backside snow could make it as far east as New York City and Long Island, where we actually see a decent band of snowfall, certainly the most significant of the year so far, moving through southern New England. So some backside snow as this storm system could potentially become a bomb cyclone as it moves out. All right, but some backside snow for everybody as that cold front makes its way off to the east and pushes the storm out into Canada. But man, I mean, just running through that run again, we can see, uh, it's just round after round of torrential rainfall, and the main event for Southern New England, 8 a.m. Monday morning. That's guys, that's the pinpointed time frame that I want to give you guys. But snow could last from for Southern New England, Long Island, that area. I mean, the forecast is very uncertain about that snow, but if it does happen, it could last from 10 a.m. to around 1 p.m. on the afternoon. That pulls out for the surrounding areas. Um, it really just depends on where you are. If you're inside that cold front, which is going to be right here, or let me redraw that. All right, I think if you're right near that cold front, while the storm is impacting you, I think you could definitely see some snow. So really, if you're behind this line here, you should expect a lot of heavy snow. But especially if you're right by that line, that's where the heavy snow will fall. All right, but man, just a crazy, intense storm system that you just saw right there. Looking at the total rainfall, okay, this is this is something that you're gonna have to watch. This could change a little bit, not that much. All right, again, the storm system is just a few hours away. All right, but we can see these dark shades of purple here. We can start to see 3 to 4, maybe up to 5 inches of rain for southern New England, all the way up in towards Maine, where we have locally higher amounts possible. Okay, but just this entire area that's going to get hit by that storm system all the way up and down the eastern seaboard. Really, same amounts, but if you're closer to the cold air, you might see less rain, and just meaning that you're going to see more snow. Okay, but heavier rain down here in North Carolina as well. But anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rain is possible in this area that I circled right there. So, um, this is really looking like a big flooding event possible. Coastal flooding, too, is very likely because we're going to have water flowing downstream and then water spilling into streets along the coast because of potential storm surge. Um, so, yeah, a very messy day, messy rest of your weekend coming up from the Northeast. Your snowfall total is based off of the NAM. Okay, we can see it's pretty crazy. All right, starting out down here near North Carolina, it wants to dump inches of snow into North Carolina. The mountains here, the upper elevations, getting in on 5+ inches of snow. These greens getting up to maybe around a foot of snow. Some pockets of very heavy snow. But really, for the main part of the main part of the state, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow is possible. Same thing up into Virginia, although heavier amounts possible. Also into West Virginia, into PA. I think you're going to see some more widespread areas that will see 5+ inches, especially in these pinks and these darker shades of purple. Maybe we're talking 6 to 8 inches of snow. So very heavy snow possible. Delmarva, the NAM is supporting 1 to 4 inches. You saw that heavy band of snow come in. If that does happen, I think that could actually be your exact forecast, or around your exact forecast. Same thing for New Jersey. The NAM is supporting the idea of all of New Jersey seeing plowable snow, and it wants maybe not plowable snow, but definitely measurable snow. But in northwestern New Jersey, it wants 6 to 9, maybe up to 10, nearing 10 inches, right around the Jersey, New York State, and PA border. We could actually be seeing maybe around a foot of snow. Going up into New York State, we see maybe the heavier snowfall amounts here, widespread, 6+ inches, with some totals down here in central New York State, around maybe a foot plus of snowfall. And going into southern New England, New York City, Long Island, 1 to 3 inches is possible, going all the way into the eastern portion of the state. So a very wild scenario here, but it's getting pretty late for this to change. All right, so this could actually be your official forecast. All right, but going into Connecticut, 1 to 3 inches are possible with locally heavier amounts. 11 inches showing up here. I mean, that is around a foot of snow. And going into Massachusetts, Western Massachusetts, maybe up to a foot of snow going into Vermont, New Hampshire. New Hampshire, you can see some pockets of gray. Okay, 2 feet of snow. We're talking about a foot plus potentially for this entire area. All right, so that's why we're calling this potential blizzard. I think that this will certainly become a named winter storm, and I mean this could turn out to be, not only a very intense rainstorm for everybody, but also one of the most intense early winter storms that we're going to see this season. So very intense map here, just based off your snowfall totals, based off the NAM 3 kilometer model. What does the GFS show for this? Shows pretty much the same thing. It doesn't show any snow into Long Island, but it shows that same typical area, or I shouldn't say typical, but same, general area in southern New England that could actually get some snow. So is actually, I think the GFS will end up showing this on the 12Z, some snow into Long Island, because it's getting close. All right, and we'll look at the precipitation and moisture, and we'll see how close the GFS wants that snow. Yeah, and it wants a heavy band of snow very close to Long Island and New York City. So that's gonna be an oddball right there, or a question mark. All right, the Canadian model wants more snow back into the interior Northeast. All right, the icon. We'll look at the icon. Yeah, the icon wants more rain. Actually, I don't think the icon wants any snow into New Jersey. So the icon wants really an all rain event for much of the Northeast, unless you're obviously in the interior Northeast. But the NAM 3 kilometer model is kind of, I think it's really on its own here for the. I think this is the model that's really uh, doing the snowfall amounts pretty good for the Northeast. All right, so set aside your storm system. We look at our winds here. All right, our winds are going to be one of the main factors that are going to cause big travel disruptions and power outages possible here, especially in the southern New England. I want you guys to watch this two areas. All right, this area right here, Cape Cod, all the way into central and eastern Long Island. Okay, and then all the way up towards Maine. I know Maine is off the map. I'll just talk about you guys. I'm sorry to leave you out of the map. All right, but we're gonna see maybe the strongest wind gusts of early winter. All right, in just a few, just 48 hours or 84 hours, I should say. All right, but here we go. These are your maximum. These are actually your wind gusts here. So sorry, wind gusts here. This is in knots. Okay. And so you can see wind gusts really gusting around anywhere from 40 to 50 knots here, which is around 50 to 60 miles per hour. So whenever you see a 40 mile per hour gust or 40 knot mile per hour gust, all right, that means that you're basically dealing with 50 mile per hour wind gusts. All right, but if you see, let's say, for example, out here on Long Island, 47 knots. Okay, that's around 57 miles per hour. So maybe up to 60 mile per hour wind gusts are possible with this system. All right, and I'm expecting possibly hurricane force winds out here on the Cape of Massachusetts here, around Cape Cod and the southern islands of Massachusetts here, and then into Rhode Island as well. I'm expecting wind gusts that could reach as high as 80 miles per hour. I'd be kind of surprised if we saw, 80 miles per hour is a little much, but definitely 70 miles per hour, and that is certainly more than enough to down trees and cause widespread power outages. But just add 10 miles per hour or 10 units of wind to these numbers here, and that's what you get for your wind gusts. And uh, 62 knots. All right, add 10 to that, 72 miles per hour. That is just 2 miles per hour shy of Category 1 strength. So, man, a very impactful system that's going to get going here. We start to see some tans and some grays. Okay, 64 knots. That's 74 miles per hour. That is Category 1 strength. And we can see that we see even these darker shades going up towards Maine. That's where AD could actually come alive here as we get through the day on Sunday to Monday, and then some strong and persistent winds coming out of the northwest behind this. All right, but oh my gosh, it is going to be a wild night from the northeast. I've talked about this a lot. Southern New England, prepare for the worst. There are going to be widespread trees down. This is going to cause power outages for businesses and homes here. So yeah, just not something that you're gonna want to see out here. Damaging wind event is becoming likely here. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for coming to watch. See you guys in the next video. Again, I really apologize for not being able to give you guys any update on those tornadoes in Tennessee. And again, I did not expect those tornadic storms to be as bad as they did turn out to be. So I apologize about that. All right, so I hope you guys can stay safe during this storm. Hunker down, get prepared, just stay ahead of the system, and continue watching your local meteorologist. Continue watching my updates, and anybody on YouTube that gives good analysis on these storms. I'm gonna put in the comments and in my description in the video, which you can click on down below. Links to everybody that I want you to watch if you need anybody else other than me to watch. Alright, but stay ready, stay aware for heavy snow, blizzard conditions, heavy rainfall, which will lead to flooding, severe thunderstorms all the way up to the northeast. Alright, and then damaging wind gusts, especially for southern New England. So, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks so much for coming to watch. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys